YouTube, how we doing? Pass the Prop, NFL back here. Yet again is Monday Night Football edition. Join as always. Stu, how you doing, man?
Doing good. I'm trying to edit my tweet right now, but Twitter's bugging. So taking a little bit there, but yeah, made a couple typos, trying to correct that. But no, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, it was a good weekend. We had a good show here. Yeah, I feel like anytime I have a good betting weekend, I'm gonna come in here and feel pretty happy. So no complaints at all. I thought we had some very entertaining football games as well. So just a good weekend all around. Good sports weekend. Best UFC card of the year for me. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I had fun.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, I don't know if we've done that before, where we've gone full hit everything that we played, and that's including the dog picks as well. So everything.
We've done this shit a long time. I mean,
but we've only done dog picks. I think the last 2 years. Right.
That's true. That cuts down the
not like a full sweep, like everything, but like to actually go 2-0 on our dog picks too was pretty crazy. Got to give my big shout out to Shitty Mahomes, fucking me out of a lot of money yesterday. He won me it on the here, but man, dude, the Bills beat the shit out of them boys. I thought we might as well get into that one right away.
Yeah, no, I mean, good weekend, but I went 0-3 in that game. I mean, that was my worst game. It kind of brought everything else down. It would have been a killer one without it. But yeah, I mean, it's weird because if you told me how it went, like without any information, I would have went, oh, all my bets probably won. You know what I mean? Or early lead like that, behind in a game script. I would have taken Rice fucking 12 receptions if he told me that's what the game script would have been, And same with Mahomes rushing as well, something that really didn't happen at all. Allen rushing didn't happen at all. It was just a weird one, So unfortunate for the props, but yeah, I mean, I even wrote it up. Every bet I make for the Bills, I make with the assumption that James Cook is going to run the ball 18 to 20 times, and I still had that assumption. I made the bets that way, and I still fucking lost because James Cook just, So shout out to him, good job. And they broke down the Chiefs, who were looking a little bit invincible there for a second.
Yeah, Chiefs officially not in the playoffs right now, which is pretty wild this far into the season.
They're probably the favorites too to win it all.
Yeah, I think they're like third now. They were obviously So, but yeah, that would suck. I never bet Mahomes. He won it for me on the last play on the thing here, but I was in like 20th place in like some of those big contests, and I had super cheap Mahomes or low-owned Mahomes and Rashee Rice, and Rice didn't touch the ball. He touched the ball once in the second half on a 4th and 17 that they went for. Crazy. But yeah, I don't think the Bills pass rush is that good. Chiefs just fucking couldn't get open, man. It was just crazy, dude. Mahomes holding the ball, and yeah, it was a tough one to watch.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I still do think the Chiefs should be the favorites to win it all. I think they're the best team still. Bills, this happens every year. Bills beat them in the regular season. Chiefs beat them in the postseason. They were even saying it before the game. So, aren't the Bills like 4-0 against them coming in or something like that during the regular season? Like, I mean, get your moral victory in before the year's over. But also, Chiefs have been down 2 starting O-linemen for a couple of weeks. So I think with Rice back and everything, they'll look better. Pacheco probably needs to get in there because Kareem Hunt being the RB1 is a little bit annoying. But yeah, I don't know. I still like the Chiefs. Just an unfortunate game right there, and obviously Bills and Josh Allen do Bills and Josh Allen stuff, which is fun to watch as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we got 15 of you guys in here live. If you could hit that like button, we would really appreciate your support. As always, and we get to have a fun recap. Obviously, we've been we started out slow, hit a heater, kind of just been treading a little bit, sitting back and forth, splitting here and there, and then you get to one of these days, right? And these are the fun ones that we get to talk about here. So I'll start off because I had 2. Daniel Jones 225, ended up with 280. McCaffrey 160. So that one felt pretty. And I said this to you on here. I'm like, dude, I can't believe I'm getting 125 here, bro. Like.
Yeah,
just kind of crazy, man. So, I really don't have much else to say on that one. I played it for 1.5 over on action. So, yeah, just felt a little too easy.
Well, it's funny because I had Jones 225 with this as well, and then I had it with Monungai, and like It was sweaty. Like, he could have been pulled with 6 minutes left, and no one would have blinked an eye, and that would have saved Jane Daniels' season last night. You know what I mean? Down in a game that doesn't matter, the game's over. I was sweating it. He was at under 200 passing yards with 6 minutes left. Like, it was not comfortable, but they kept him out there. They kept the offense going, and they stacked those yards up. And then in the end box score, it looks like he fucking crushed it. You know what I mean? So all's well that ends well. But yeah, I was sweating a little bit just to give another perspective. You know, I had that game on my TV. I was kind of worried they would just pull him out of there.
That's the difference. I didn't watch the game, bro.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the game. I was at the Packer game. Obviously, I told you that. Both of our teams had a weird one this week. Obviously, hopefully, Jane Daniels isn't out for the year, but I'd be surprised if he comes back. I'm gonna have to cut him in fantasy this week. So
he's done for the year, and even if he's not, just it's over. You know, like.
Yeah,
let me out for the year. There's no reason to come back.
Yeah, it was Seahawks laid that hammer, bro. Sucks too that Luke McCaffrey came out too. That sucks. First play of the game. That just sucks, dude. I like McCaffrey. I kind of liked I kind of grabbed him on some of these bye weeks because we get return yards and there's no receivers there. So he ends up getting like 4 points on just, returning. So that's always kind of nice to have. But, so we get that one there, and then you get to talk about that one as well. Early cash.
Yeah, first drive. I mean, this one was fun right here. This is one of my favorite calls. It was my favorite call of the week. I mean, and yeah, it's good. It's one that, I saw a lot of other people putting out after the show as well. Yeah. And I was like, it's not one that I even – it's like you don't feel any certain type of way because it's like I feel like if you didn't see this, there was a problem. You know what I mean? Like single coverage matchup of the year, baby. Like Alex Pierce is the guy for that. So I'm just glad a lot of people won money. I felt very good about this one. And then it cashed on the first drive of the game, so it's hard to feel any better about that one. And Pierce looked great out there. Like I said in the analysis, he's gonna get paid this offseason because I don't think the Colts. You got Pittman, you got Downs, you got Warren, you got Jones now. I don't think they're going to be able to spread that money around enough, and I think Pierce probably keeps it walking. You guys, your Packers, could add them to your never-ending collection of deep threats. Just keep collecting them. Why not?
Yeah, it makes it tough right now just because fucking everybody's hurt now again. So it sucks that Kraft tore his ACL in like the second quarter.
That was rough.
You could just tell that kind of just fucked up the entire offense because you have no underneath anymore, right? They're running 40-yard fucking bombs every play, and then Golden gets hurt in the second quarter as well. I don't know if it was concussion or shoulder, one of the two, but he went out as well.
Oh, did he miss the rest of the game?
Yeah, he was out.
Oh, I was fucking sweating his unders. Dude.
Oh yeah, dude, he was out in the second.
That's why I didn't get that notification.
Yeah, when you texted me that, I'm like, I just didn't respond because I thought you were trolling me, bro.
Nah,
because he literally went out and would. In the second quarter, and like it looked bad.
Unfortunate. Sorry, didn't mean to fist bump that. I did win though, so I never get lucky. So I was like, I thought I was just sweating it. I was just kept opening it up, checking bad game script. But okay, I didn't realize he went out of that.
Yeah, yeah, he was out for. It was out for I think most of the second. I think the entire second half. So they were throwing to fucking Malik Heath, bro.
Yeah,
he was our second leading receiver, Malik Heath behind Romeo Doubs. So that's how you know.
Funnily enough, they sneak Heath in there in other games too. Heath always gets his like 5. I think it's because he's like a good special teamer or something. He earns himself like 4 or 5 snaps like a week. He always sneaks in a couple slot things when Jaden Reed isn't in there.
Yeah, dude. He I don't know what to say about Malik Heath. He's always interesting because I always feel like he drops passes, but I guess that's almost all of them. But we end up getting there, and then we have Mahomes. Get his exact 250 on the last throw that he made. Goff 200 smashed. Obviously, didn't expect. My thing is what the fuck, Minnesota, bro? Like, I don't get this team, bro. It's the same thing with I don't get them, man. Like, now you can stop the run against probably one of the top rushing games in the NFL. And Gibbs, I think, had 4 fantasy points this week. Like, he got absolutely smashed there. But yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, hey, whatever works, whatever weird game scripts with Mahomes led to, getting over in the end. That's all that matters. And then Goff, yeah, I feel like Goff was a great call. I mean, when you look at the Vikings, there were a lot of weaknesses, and it didn't go how we thought it would, obviously, but he still ended up going over. And shout out to JJ on the other side for getting the win. I know a lot of people Hayden, obviously 9.5-point underdogs on the road and marching in there and getting a victory. And Aaron Jones looking very good as well, coming back kind of sneakily and underrated, re-addition to the team.
Yeah, he's going to be out for another 4 weeks, ain't he?
Did he get hurt again at the end of that?
Yeah, he hurt his shoulder.
Oh, I fucking turned that game off. Damn. Yeah. Aaron Jones, for real? Okay, well, back to
he got hurt. He got hurt in like the third quarter, I think, third or fourth. AC joint.
Went over AC joint. Yeah, that's probably real bad for him then. That's a bummer. He was a big spark plug for them. I mean, 9 for 70, 8 in that game, 2 catches for 20. He was clearly, as someone that bet on Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones was like, he was one of the most important players, if not, the most important of that offense. So yeah, shout out to him. Hopefully he gets healthy soon. I guess that's the curse of Aaron Jones, right? You get yourself a good game and then right back to that comfy blue tent.
Yeah, he's always there, bro. He's always there. Shout out to you on Drake London. Obviously, I feel like me and you were we were island boys, I think, bro. We gotta get that fucking tattoo across our fucking neck, bro. Be the island boys, because I like it over there. And it's we were talking on the phone a little bit there, and I was telling you what I was rolling with in DFS, and it's he was 2% owned, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this dude was way too fucking talented to be able to be at that spot. And the prices were just ridiculous on these, bro. Like 5 catches was like minus 220. I'm like, this guy's getting double-digit targets every week.
Yeah, I mean, no, this was great. I was the only thing is, I guess I was a little bit frustrated that I didn't bet like just more on like the regular numbers and stuff like that. But in my mind, I still think this is correct. I think Drake London was always an all or nothing kind of play in this one, because once again, when you look at his bad games, they're real bad. And when you look at his good games, it's like 14 targets, 12 targets. So it was kind of, in my opinion, always like an all or nothing thing. But man, I saw so many people on legit Drake London unders in this game. Like I saw notable people posting those. And I'm like, I get not liking the over Christian Gonzalez, but Michael Penix and London coming back after a game where you took London out and it was so incredibly obvious what they were missing. And then once again, this doesn't even take big brain mega analysis. Open up Michael Penix. Look at his best games ever. In all of those games, Drake London has not like 8 targets. He has 12 to 14 targets. Like it is like London. And that's exactly what they did, even with good coverage from a guy like Christian Gonzalez, who was there. I mean, he got mossed on that play later.
Yeah, he did. Pretty awesome. That was hype. I was getting hype after that.
That's what London can do. You know what I mean? That's what he brings to the table. So I was fired up. I was super happy to watch this one, obviously. And yeah, it's just unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be getting that number anytime soon, but definitely we'll be looking forward to cashing in when we can again.
Yeah, shout out to I give my shout outs to my boy Drake London. Obviously, a 40-piece last night, and then I had Brock Bowers in my lineup too at 5K, bro. Three fucking tutties. Highest scoring game of the season. Him and Drake London actually were 2 of the top 4 scoring guys of all year in the same week. Had them both. Felt great. Obviously, like I said, Mahomes kind of brought me down a little bit there, but we get to talk some dogs. 9-7 on the year now, Stu. We continue to pump them out. Packers play down to their competition. It happens every single year. We saw it against the Browns already. Saw it against Dallas already. And 14 points was too much. I was on a fucking teaser on the freaking under in plus 20. Fuck, bro. Crazy, bro.
I mean, and also they're 2 teams that run the hell out of the ball. The Panthers have literally shown you everything in the world. The Panthers are what we essentially thought the Jets would be. Where like if they can run on you, they can win, and if not, they just kind of lose. You know what I mean? But the Jets fail every time they actually try to run on you. Carolina's like, no, we're establishing the hell out of this thing. They're one of the only teams that could actually even play that competitive game. With the Cowboys as well, where they even kept the Cowboys pretty grounded. So yeah, Carolina does that, and then. I mean, LaFleur on the other side, this guy loves a field goal. He loves a 1st and 10 handoff. He's one of the sharpest coaches around, but he's still, like the Shenhans of the world, has those very conservative bones in his body. Like he is not, the most aggressive. So 2 lower pace teams just saw, all the potential in the world for Carolina to stick around. And yeah, it just worked out kind of like we said. So I was super pumped up for that one. It was good to see. And obviously winning outright was pretty impressive as well. Shout out Dowdle. Crazy.
Yeah. And I think the 2 biggest, outside of obviously the Saints, the two other biggest dogs won. I think Minnesota and Carolina. Those are the other two biggest dogs on the week. Those survivor pools, man, that's what makes them hard. It's the NFL. So, yeah. And then Atlanta came back. I mean, it's just a Drake London show, baby. And it was, like I said, fun to watch when Drake London's just doing his thing. So good for him.
And that game was good too. I mean, that was another fun one. May struggled a little bit in the end, but I would say still another test he passed. You know, really good pass defense, got the win, still had some good throws, even losing one of his wide receivers and Booty over there. So yeah, definitely been enjoying watching Drake May. He's one of the more fun guys to watch in football this year.
All right, let's get this thing rolling. We got one game to talk about. We're going Arizona at Dallas. Dallas, I believe, is -3.5 on most books right now. I'm looking at a 53.5 point total. Stu, same thing we always do on these short slates. Actually, shit, let me put this up first. This was our numbers now. I feel like you guys want to see those because obviously we're moving up there. We're almost at double digit again. But yeah, 3-0 week plus a long shot. Obviously, that'll make something happen there. So, but back to what we were just talking about. We got Arizona at Dallas, -3.5 Dallas Cowboys. Where are you leaning? One of the four sides here, Stu. Obviously, Cardinals playing close games every week, it feels like. They're always in it. They lose all of these fucking one-score games. Can you really put faith in the Cowboys to cover?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, my first instinct is you and me were real early Arizona haters. Like they showed signs of life, people were happy, and I feel like we were both immediately like, no, this is fake. And I'm glad it kind of got shown out to be that pretty quickly. Obviously, now on a losing skid. Now Kyler Murray questionable. It's looking like Jacoby Brissett is going to make the start. The only thing is, I will say the little quote about Kyler was a little weird, where he was still kind of like, I forget what the wording was, but Gannon was like, we'll see what he can contribute. Like, what does that mean? Are you going to bring him in for like a trick play or something? That just sounded kind of crazy. But either way, for the most part, I think it's pretty standard that we're going to see Brissett out there. And over these last 2 weeks, he's been good. He's elevated this offense. He's made them better. I mean, especially as a passing offense, they haven't really been a good rushing offense all year long. And who can blame them? You lose James Conner, then you lose Trey Benson. That's plan A and plan B. So now you're stuck with Bam Knight as your number one, Michael Carter as your number two, and then DeMercado. I know Michael Carter just got dropped, and so people are taking him out of their write-ups. Put him back up in your write-ups. Michael Carter will be, in my opinion, get more snaps than DeMercado. He's on the practice squad. He's going to be elevated at 6 p.m. later today. So he's still there. Just because you saw that underdog earlier this year does not mean he's gone. And I don't trust DeMercado after fumbling a game against the worst team in the league. So just a little FYI there. But yeah, for me, yeah, that's what. But like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, this isn't college football. This isn't a Mountain West Thursday game. You know, what are we doing here? Like, that shit doesn't work in the NFL. I root for stuff like that. I want it to happen, but there are real smart coaches that even have more, in tune players, and these guys don't even do it, and they fail to do it. So I don't know. Maybe we see a Kyler trick play. I don't know. That would be interesting. Kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but who knows? But overall, that's a lot to say. When I look at this game, I think Arizona can stick around. I think Brissett gives them a better chance to backdoor cover. We kind of even saw it with like those Packers games, those Colts games. You just put him behind by 7 points, 10 points. We're going into fucking autopilot, 10, 12 yards at a time. Brissett downfield. Like, it's one of those situations where he can really cook. He kind of gives me like a not quite Flacco level elite backup quarterback, but he can get you in that, short and drive down the field, easy score cover mode. So I like Arizona, but the one I'm going to take is not going to be that. I'm going to take the most controversial one possible. We're going under right here. And I like the under. Arizona plays close, ugly games. That's what they're going to be trying to do. We know Dallas in a dome is probably the scariest under team possible, just because they will elevate the pace of play. They can be really efficient on offense, but Arizona does funnel short passes. That is what they're pretty good at. They don't allow a ton of downfield completions. They're pretty good against the deep ball. They haven't quite seen a Dak Prescott this year, who obviously is the most aggressive deep ball passer in football, leads the league in attempts. So it's a kind of a strength versus strength battle, which will be fun to watch. But overall, I just see Javonte having some success tonight. I even think Bam Knight, if they do get that going early, that could be a path for them as well. I don't think they'll succeed there, but I do think they'll try. I just see enough paths to the under here where I'm definitely willing to do that. Because once again, if Arizona succeeds, then I think this game will be uglier. So, I think that correlates a little bit more with the under if you like them as a dog. But obviously, if you like Dallas, I mean, they can put up 40 pretty easily. We've seen that this year. So it's always scary to kind of mess with an under there. But that's if we're going 1-4, I'm going to take the under. We're going to get a little risky over here.
Yeah, I think it's tough for me because I think I'm just going to take the Cowboys at the -3.5. I wish it was the 3. I do. I believe they scored 40 points in 3 of their home games already this year. I'm kind of nervous getting that midweek injury on Johnson. That kind of scares me a little bit because, fuck, you need all those secondary dudes healthy in this game because you're rolling 3 dudes out there right now that are, top what? We'll say Pickett's top 10 right now, just because obviously he's like top 10 in receiving yards in the NFL right now. But Lamb, obviously, top 5 receiver. And then Ferguson, I think, is still top 3 in fantasy points for tight ends. So you're rolling those 3 guys, and now you're going to possibly miss your top corner, right? That's kind of scares me a little bit. It kind of scares me off a little bit. And the fact that you have I'm playing Brandon Aubrey tonight, so he's probably getting 25. That's obviously a thing in a dome that you can't really go. That can't really go unnoticed either because these guys can get a point from the 50-yard line, bro. They're getting 33 points from 65, and it's not even like crazy. Like I get that Little made that, and it's like huge, but like Aubrey is making 63s to 65s casually, bro. That's the crazy part, and I just think those types of points will kind of give me a little bit more edge towards Dallas.
Yeah, that Little thing reminded me. I need like a spam Twitter account I can make where I can just tweet out all my thoughts that nobody cares about so that then I can victory lap them for credit. Because I picked up Little in all my fantasy leagues. Little in that matchup was the most obvious I'm going to pop off kicker game of the year. And I can't believe I didn't. Where am I going to say that? Who am I going to say that to like brag later? You know what I mean? All I have is just fucking like 6 fantasy screenshots of like, look, I called it, But I'm just saying, like, man, that was so obvious right there. The Raiders, 2 garbage teams, best kicker in football, no aggression at all from either coaching staff. Man, like, that was so peak right there. And I'm mad I didn't get to victory lap it too much. But either way, the problem with Aubrey, I want to say, is they have a coach that's not a fucking pussy anymore. So that's a problem for Aubrey. Like when people talk about his props and stuff like that before, they were just giving up, 4th and 1 at whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, now they have a coach that's like, look how good our offense is. I get our kickers great, but if it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2, we're going. You know what I mean? So that hurts Aubrey because it kind of neutralizes how special, he is a little bit just because they're actually going for it. And last year, obviously, they were pretty much giving up every time.
For sure. Well, I hope that's the case tonight. Hopefully he only kicks 1 because I'm playing him. So, all right, Stu, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. We got props to talk about here. I'll kick it over to you to start us off, and let's finish this week 5-0, bro. Could be one of those big ones that we have right here.
I'm excited. Oh, no. I'm not McBride, by the way. I'm fucking Marvin Harrison.
Oh, you said McBride. Okay. I remember.
I might have misspoke there. Okay, that's my apologies. Because I actually do like that play as well. I
swear to God that came up, but
I had played some McBride, but no, I'm on Marvin Harrison over 22.5 longest reception, -120 over on DraftKings right now. You also have 23.5 on Caesars, and I think even someone has 24.5. So I've seen a couple other people put this one out, but this is one of my first props of the week. Like I had a nice little, article there of a bunch of longest plays I like, and Harrison really stuck out as one. And I know people hate Marvin Harrison. and think he's like really bad, I guess, which kind of contributes to that. One, I did watch college Marvin Harrison as well, so I have a little bit more of a positive memory just because I have seen this guy also demolish and look like world class at times as well. And I get we haven't really seen that in the NFL, but I think once you watch more of the film, it kind of becomes obvious. I didn't read his dad's full interview today, but I saw some quotes about it. I think his dad kind of nailed it. They don't design plays for him. Like they don't treat him like a wide receiver one. They just treat him as like a function of the offense. And I don't think that's because he's bad and he's not good enough for them to do that. I just think their coaching staff is one, not very smart, one, a little bit more on the conservative side, and honestly had a quarterback that they didn't really trust to throw the ball down the field, right? When you look at it so far this year, Kyler Murray only had 4 completions of 20 yards. In 2 starts, we've already beat that with my boy Jacoby Brissett coming in the lineup. Another interesting thing, Harrison, once again, if you're not going to force feed him targets, then you need to actually bet him in games where like the natural flow of the game benefits him. And that's the case here. I want him in much more man coverage and much more single high safety coverage matchups where we can get him one-on-one. And I think that's what we should see here. The Cowboys started out the year as one of the most aggressive zone defenses in the year, or just in general, and they were kind of bullied from it. They've had some injuries since then. Over these last couple of weeks, they've been much more aggressive with 1 single high safety coverage and 2 man coverage. It's what bad defenses do when you're injured or when you're bad. You just change it up. You go, oh, the zone's not working. We got to blitz more, man up in the back and win one-on-one. And then, oh, that's not working. All right, we're giving up too many explosives. Back to the zone. I don't really care how they end up playing. I think it probably does still lean to more man just because that's what we've seen recently. I think that's a better guess. But I personally don't really care as much. But schematically, it does look like it pushes us there. And just in general, when I look at this matchup, one, I want to back Arizona's offense just in general because Dallas is so good on offense. They're so efficient, especially in a dome. Obviously, at like 40-point, like you said, in all those 40-point performances, it's a 53.5 total. Like, there's so many opportunities for Dallas to put you in a position where you have to pass, whether you like it or not. The only team that's really been able to resist that was kind of the Panthers, who just played super slow, super ugly. And even in that one, they still had some solid performances like on an individual basis. And I think that's kind of what Marvin Harrison can do, where I don't want to go to the yards, even though I could see him landing on one of those like 20-yard catches. I think that's in reality, but I think we're going to get multiple reps here. I think we're going to get multiple opportunities, and that does give me kind of confidence. But the part of the football field that he targets is what I want to target with the Cowboys because their outside corners are bad. They are not very good at preventing deep balls at all. And Marvin Harrison is the number 1 guy in that role. So I don't see why I'd go. Like, I see people betting Michael Wilson. It's like, yeah, I get it. He's another downfield guy as well, but he just plays less. He's less efficient, and he gets less of a first read target share, less design targets. Why would I want Michael Wilson at like 15-60 and when I can get Harrison, 7 yards more? I don't think that's that much of a fall off. So go with Marvin Harrison Jr. I forgot how to catch earlier in the year. It was a little bit of a rough go for him, but I think he's gotten over that hump. And I think with a Brissett offense, with the 8.5 ADOT, where he's looking down the field and he's trying to create these explosives, then yeah, I'll definitely take it. And it's also one thing. It's so amazing to have McBride for a prop like this because I'm not betting on like volume. I'm betting on efficiency. And McBride elevates the efficiency of everyone else because he's the first read target, 35%. The Cowboys defense is going to be fully locked in on trying to prevent him. Dallas has been top 5, by the way, in preventing teams at getting to their first read so far via fantasy points. So, like, the whole plan is like, we got to slow down this big white guy over the middle. You're just going to get more one-on-one chances. And I think that's what Harrison kind of thrives on. So I see a path to honestly McBride, like in McBride having 100 yards in this game. I see a pretty easy path to that, honestly. And Harrison's still locking down a couple 30-yard targets in this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll get right into mine just because I got to move through these a little bit quicker, but I'm going to be rolling with McBride receiving. I like the longest reception spot that you talked about there for Harrison. I also think that McBride has a chance to do that as well, just because of how fucking bad this Cowboys secondary is at tackling. They horrible, dude. I watched that Denver game last week because obviously, I still have that Dak future. So I always, whenever they're on those late games and the Packers aren't on at the same time, always tune them in. But man, dude, those I don't even know how many missed tackles they had because some of them might not even have counted as missed tackles, but they were like, how is your angle this fucking shitty to not even give yourself a chance at tackling these guys? So McBride obviously has been taken off. It doesn't really matter who's under center. But I've been just looking at some of these tight ends that are actually getting there on this Cowboys team, and none of them are to the level of Trey McBride, bro. Like Tucker Kraft went over this number 5 for 56, and Musgrave had 2 or 3 catches in that game as well. I feel like the easiest one I can use for like what I expect to happen tonight is like the Mason Taylor game, right? Mason Taylor went 9 for 67 in that game, and there was nothing you could do about it. Like he was open on every single play. And I think Garrett Wilson, was still in there at that point. But then you go down this list. Tommy Tremble had 40 something yards on these guys. I can't use the Zach Ertz one as much because Jaden Daniels got hurt mid game there, but he still had 3 for 47 and a touchdown, right? Like you could just go down this list of just like hemorrhaging yards, right? And then you go over to the Dak side, obviously averaging over 300 passing yards a game at home this year in his 3 home starts. It's 944 yards in 3 home games. Obviously, when you play a 40-40 tie, that tends to help out some of your numbers here. But tough thing for me is, like I said, I mentioned it before, Johnson's injury for I don't like them when they're midweek. Like when you get a midweek thing like that, it's just like, is it practice? It's like Cooper Kupp, right? Cooper Kupp was fine, and then you get the questionable tag midweek, and then he sits, right? So even if he's not fully healthy, dude, like you're playing at 75% against, arguably one of the best high point catchers in George Pickens, right? You just throw the ball up, and this dude's been making crazy plays, or you have to guard CD. And if you're not 100%, obviously I know how good he's been. I thought that would be I wanted to know where he was matching up, but if he's even 75%, dude, this is not a team that you have the luxury of just like throwing them on a bum, right? There's really no bum here that's going to be running routes consistently here. So I didn't want to pick. Obviously, I think all of them can get their job done. I do think we see a little bit extra Ferguson in here after he gets fucking zeroed. I think that might be more of like a long shot thought for me on receptions or something. But I think that he gets involved. Obviously, CD, his numbers in like the mid 80s, right? Pickens is way up there. I didn't want to pick. Sign me up for Dak. I'll take him.
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, obviously McBride, I think 50 receiving is in a parlay I have as well, and probably maybe even another one later. Like, I think it's just like, no matter how this game goes, I don't see how McBride doesn't go over. That's kind of how I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Like, I just see so many different ways to victory. And Dak, obviously, he's been one of the best quarterbacks just in football this year. And yeah, it's hard to choose between CD and Pickens, especially as Pickens does more short yardage stuff. The more comfortable he's looked. And yeah, it's just easier. And I agree with Ferguson too, honestly. It's one of those where you just see a lot of different paths and a lot of different guys that can contribute. And yeah, I think Dak should have a great game. I'm curious how the secondary does turn out. The injury report will be something to monitor. But yeah, definitely like the spot at plus money, especially.
For sure. Let's get a quick recap here. We got a couple questions that we can get to as well. Let's get this recap going here, and then we'll get it rolling.
Sounds good. Yep, we're going to Marvin Harrison Jr. over 22.5 longest completions. Minus 120 on DraftKings, MGM. Caesars has got 23.5, and that's good to go as well.
Awesome. Now we'll be rolling with Dak Prescott 250 with McBride 50 receiving at plus 104 there. Stu, any long shots for you? This might be one of those games where you got some crazy ones, man. I mean, this game should be pretty wild. If you're betting under, you're probably getting a good price if you're going to find something that you like. So what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting because I've been like right about this game for a couple hours, and normally I have a bunch of like long shot ideas when that's the case, but nothing's really like popped out that much. I mean, when you play Dallas, everything's kind of like fairly priced. The one popular guy I see is Zay Jones, who Coop just asked about in the chat. I don't mind Zay Jones. He seems to have some chemistry with Brissett. My problem is a lot of people are kind of looking at stuff like with his snap share, and they're looking at like a game where like Marv went out a little bit and he kind of played that role and had an increased role. You also have Dortch you got to think about as well. There's just a lot of mouths to feed, and I think I'd just rather play Brissett than just try to pick on Jones or Dortch or even what's his name Higgins, the backup tight end. They play a ton of 12 personnel. Like I don't know, it's just there are a lot of different guys. So I'm probably I did get kind of close to the Zay Jones stuff earlier this morning, but then the more I thought about it, like, do I want to be sweating Zay Jones as McBride gets his 11th target over the middle? Like maybe not. There's probably still some room for him, but that it would take a certain kind of game script. So I did not play any Zay Jones. I do see him talked about. It will probably depend on the Cardinals injury report, honestly. Like I think if Will Johnson sits, and they get their nickel back off of IR, then I think Pickens, who Canadian Cam asked about longest reception, I think he then becomes more interesting because then you have some better downfield opportunities. But if Will Johnson plays, who's been very good, and they're looking healthy, that they've actually been very good at preventing these downfield shots. So I think I'm personally still waiting on some information, I guess, before I build out any more like long shots. But my boy Turpin is always interesting to me, now that he's finally healthy, get maybe a touchdown, something like that. And then the other name off the top of my head is your boy Ferguson's there. But this dude, Luke Schoonmaker, it plays a decent amount as well. I only see 4.5 yards. So maybe if they give us like a little alt line to that, like a 15-yard catch or something like that, or maybe a touchdown, that could be interesting too. But I don't have any long shots bet right now personally.
Yeah, I do not either as of right now, but obviously that could change. It is tough when you're looking at bets and there's a lot of injury news still yet to come yet, so makes this stuff a little bit tougher. Yeah, Flame Fam, I'm on FanDuel for this one. I'm on FanDuel for this. They've been giving me a little better on these alternate lines than DraftKings as of late. So anything else from you, Stu, before we get out of here? Obviously, 35 people still in here with us, 35 minutes in. Anything from you?
No, I mean, I think today's show is pretty good. I should have some more props to come a little bit later today. If you're interested in that kind of thing, I'd recommend checking out my Substack. I'll have a full free game preview. I've already written some of it, but I'm obviously still waiting on some more news as well. I think these last game previews have been pretty awesome, if I'm not going to lie. I think in back-to-back weeks kind of nailed the Commanders' alt lines and stuff against them with Seattle last night. The Chiefs the week prior had some good stuff with that Chargers-Ravens game as well. So I don't know. I would just say I think even if you just follow the show and don't even subscribe to my bets or whatever, that's fine. Even just like the free game previews, I've been thinking. I think they're pretty good, honestly. I think like you're not going to get much better betting information, especially when it comes to frankly like the Commanders. I don't think you're going to get any better information out there. So that's my little pitch. Join the Substack. I'll have a full game preview later. And yeah, hopefully we can keep winning some bets. It's an awesome show on Friday. A lot of momentum right now. And I love both of our spots today. I feel like I pretty much bet this morning being like, this is the PPS bet. Like our Dak in this game, like McBride, like it's feeling good. The vibes are good. So I'm excited to hopefully keep that momentum going today.
Yeah, dude, it's always nice when you can hit everything on a show, right? It doesn't happen often, right? I mean, you can't expect it to happen, but when everything kind of goes the way you talk about, it does feel good. So I'm happy that all you guys were able to pop in here with us and make some money. So yeah, we'll be ready to go. Flam Fam, just DM me on Twitter. I'll have NBA stuff coming out. So yeah, should be good. I'm ready for Wednesday again, and we should be ready to roll. And yeah, best of luck on all your bets tonight, guys. Great game to watch. But we will catch you guys on Wednesday, ready to roll for another primetime spot.